Hey VC, welcome back my friends to the show that never ends. In the background, I got Danny Gatton playing. Danny Gatton. And the song that, not by accident, is playing is his cover of The Simpsons theme song. This is a contest entry for Nick Rideau. Nick has got a great channel and he's coming up on 700 subs. It's very commendable. He deserves every one of them. He's a Texan, so that alone kind of makes him a cool guy. And if you ever lived in Texas, you know Texas is a very proud state. Jerry Jeff Walker once said, you never ask a man where he's from, because if he's from Texas, he's going to tell you from the get-go, and if he's not, you don't want to embarrass him. But Nick, he's a Texan, a young buck, great taste in music, with a fantastic channel. And his contest is Don't Blow Your Cover. It's all about cover songs. What cover songs do you feel were better than the original? And I let him know I'm going to put a twist on this, and he said, man, that's cool, do what you do. There have been some great cover songs. And there's some of them, I prefer the original version better, and there's some that I go with the cover. I'm going to start off with Emmy Lou Harris. This is from an album she did of all cover songs, Wrecking Ball. Wrecking Ball, I guess, was her way of saying she's wrecking the song. Kind of a wink and a nod. Title to an album. Great album, a lot of great cover songs on here. The one I'm going with is her song that she did, Goodbye, her cover of the Steve Earle song, Goodbye. And I'm a huge Steve Earle fan. I put him in my top 3 solo artists of all times. This is the song he came out with Goodbye on, Train a Comin'. Great song he did. Wonderful song. Very well written. Very well done. I really like Emmy Lou Harris's version. I'm not saying it's better. Maybe because she's a female vocalist. She put more, I guess, a punch to it. Because they're singing to their significant other. And maybe it's just, I could relate to it more. A woman breaking up with a guy. Fantastic version. Fantastic album of cover songs. Here's one I just got the other day, Paula Cole, and this is all cover music. Some great cover songs. Ace Frehley, Origins Volume 2, nothing but cover songs. So there've been some great cover albums where the artist does nothing but cover other people's music. This is the Ramones, Acid Eaters, nothing but cover versions. And on Ace Frehley's Origins 2, he covers Jumpin' Jack Flash. Of course, the Rolling Stones song. Stones do it better. But there's another cover version of Jumpin' Jack Flash, Johnny Winter, and in the early 70s, his live version of Jumpin' Jack Flash is probably my favorite version of that song. So that's one of the covers. And I love the Stones, man. Studio version, okay, the Stones got it. But as far as a live version, I really love the Johnny Winter one better. And of course, we all know Jimi Hendrix had covered a few great songs. Namely by Bob Dylan. And of course I'm talking about Like a Rolling Stone. It's on this box set. Does a great version of Like a Rolling Stone. I prefer Bob Dylan's version better. I really like Jimi Hendrix's version and the way he sped it up. Fantastic version, but they're like apples and oranges. And even though I'm a huge Hendrix fan, I'm going to go with Bob Dylan's version. And Hendrix redid, man. He covered a lot of cool stuff. On this box set, he covers, I don't know if I'm going to be able to show it to you. He covers Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Heart Club's Band. And it's a really fun live version of that song. Yeah, the Beatles did it best. That studio version they did, I've never heard them do a live version. But his live version of Sgt. Pepper's is a really fun song. And he recorded that like a week after it was released, so he jumped on it early. Jimi Hendrix did a lot of great covers. Like I said, man, All Along the Watchtower. I'm going to let someone else touch on that one. I'm not. It's a great box set by the legendary, the late Jimi Hendrix. Jimi Hendrix also covered Woodstock by Crosby, Stills, and Nash. You can find it on this album. And the cool thing about this version of Woodstock is Stephen Stills is singing vocals on it. So is it Jimi Hendrix doing a version of Woodstock? Or is it Stephen Stills doing a solo version with Jimi Hendrix on guitar? Huh? Either way, it sounds like Crosby, Stills, and Nash on acid. And it is a great version. I'm not saying it's better than the original. I'm just saying it's a really, really great version of that song. Okay. Dead Flowers by the Rolling Stones. We all know Townes Van Zandt redid that, but so did Steve Earle. Steve Earle's version of Dead Flowers sounds like he's doing a Townes Van Zandt cover. And so as far as the covers, I'm going with Townes Van Zandt. Yeah, I know it's not on this album. I'm just showing a Townes album to let you know what I'm talking about. As far as cover versions go, I think Townes is way better than Steve Earle's. This leads me to the next part of the video. It's going to be involving the Grateful Dead. I've said before the Grateful Dead were the world's best cover band. And man, they really did it. They, here, where am I looking for? When I Paint My Masterpiece, a Bob Dylan song, do a wonderful version of that. Is it better than the original? That's up to the ear of the beholder. The Weight by the band, they do a killer version of The Weight. Now, as far as live versions, I think their live versions are probably better than their original band's live version because they put so much heart and soul into their live music. Knocking on Heaven's Door. A lot of people redone that song. Eric Clapton's redone it. Guns N' Roses. Bob Dylan, of course, wrote it from Pat Garrett and Billy the Kid soundtrack. But as far as cover versions go, The Grateful Dead is my favorite cover version of Knocking on Heaven's Door. They put a lot into it. Always loved that song. Rolling Stones song, I Can't Get No Satisfaction. Yeah, the Stones version's better. But they do a killer live version of that flippin' song, man. Got a couple other albums here by the Grateful Dead to show you. And this is why I call them the world's greatest cover band. Skull and Roses. This was just reissued, and I picked up a reissue copy of it. But this is my original copy. They're doing songs like Mama Tried. I like it better than Merle Haggard. Don't Throw a Beer Bottle at Me, but I like it better than Merle Haggard. Johnny Be Good. Now, everyone's redone that song. Johnny Winter. On the album I just showed you, there's a version of Johnny Be Good. Chuck Berry's version is the best. But as far as cover versions, I'm going to go with the Grateful Dead. Not Fade Away, Buddy Holly. Of course, I think his version is the best one out there. But the Stones have done it. A lot of bands have done it. The Grateful Dead, I feel, have the best cover version of that song. Martha and the Vandellas, Dancing in the Street. Bowie and Jagger did a version of the song. Johnny Winter and his brother has done a version of the song. Grateful Dead. Martha is the best version. As far as cover versions, I'm going with the world's greatest cover band, the Grateful Dead. And he only said do 5 or 10. I'm going over, Nick, I'm sorry. If you can see the bottom song there, Dear Mr. Fantasy. I know it's a Traffic song. Live, studio, whatever. I think the Grateful Dead's version of Dear Mr. Fantasy is better. I like it better. I love their version of Dear Mr. Fantasy. On this album, Without a Net. I love this Danny Gatton album, man. Guys, there was only 1,000 copies of this pressed. I was lucky enough to see it, and I ordered a copy. Anyway, let's get back to this video. Going back to the Grateful Dead. There was a reason I pulled this album out. I'm a King Bee. It's not as good as the original, but this is a fantastic cover version of that song. King Bee, Grateful Dead. Here, okay, this one has Dancing in the Streets. I've already mentioned that one. Not Fade Away. I've mentioned that one. Again, Mama Tried. This El Paso is on here, and that's why I pulled it. Marty Robbins, El Paso, and Marty that's a great song. He did it well. The Grateful Dead, in my opinion, kind of made it their own. I love their version better. Jerry Garcia and David Grissom, they cover The Thrill Is Gone. B.B. King absolutely did the best version of The Thrill Is Gone. Hands down to the King. As far as cover versions, Jerry Garcia, David Grissom. Anyway, this is my entry into my rambling, scattered entry into Nick Purdue's contest. Don't blow your cover. I kind of put my own little twist on it. But that's okay, because Nick's cool like that. And Nick said, man, go do what you do. Please, it's hard to believe that if you're watching my channel, you don't know Nick's. But check his channel out. Like I said, he's a real cool cat, man. He's got a kind of a laid-back approach to presenting music. He does a great job presenting it. He's younger than me by several years, so he's into a lot of the newer music, which is cool. It's a great way for me to learn about some of the newer artists. But yet he's into the classics, man. He's into some great stuff. Peace. I hope everyone is doing what they want to do.